Hi, Amir, back again.
So I think we can start. So dear colleagues, dear students, I'm delighted to welcome you in our design class. Today is our final meeting, which is also attended by Professor Barbara Engel and Professor Olga Sawicka, and they will assess our results of our work. In this semester, we worked on the renovation project of the residential area Vaja-Pshevela 6, Saburtala district, Tbilisi, Georgia. And before demonstrating our work, I would like to ask Barbara for an opening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, dear Nadia, for introduction. And Olga, I just saw that you as well hopped in, so good to see you. Yeah, thanks to all the participants who joined the studio. I'm happy that you signed in to work on this topic, which I think is a very relevant issue since the transformation, the further development of areas from that time is, of course, is a specific issue in Tbilisi, but as well, it's pointing out general approaches and general questions how to approach sustainable development of those districts. And the transformation is nowadays so important since we don't build anymore in green fields, but it's really about the transformation of the existing areas. And maybe just from my side, a general comment. So you will present your work, and Olga and me, or even the other colleagues will address then some comments or even questions. But I think sometimes we have probably to several projects even same or similar comments. So then in that case, we won't repeat that. Yeah? So I think whatever Olga and me are addressing to one project is probably as well good for the others. Yeah? So I would like to ask you not only to listen to the comments that are given specifically to you or to your project, but all to the others, yeah, since they might be good for you as well. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to your presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. So let us begin our presentations. The first team to present is team 6, Гуменюк Victoria and Зайцева Елизавета. You're welcome.
Good morning. Do you see our screen?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good morning, dear teachers and colleagues. Today we present the project renovation of house Vaja-Pshevela 6. The project site is located in Georgia, namely is Saburtala district. This is a large and populated area of Tbilisi, famous for its combination of excellent and modern architecture. The area is full of education institutes, sports and children playgrounds, and they are placed for walking. If we look at photographic evidence of the area, the imagine of residential development is created by 4 or 5-story building, and the area look quite green and lively. First of all, the residential zone predominates in the area. Residential buildings are located very close to each other, which creates a more closed living space. And a large number of schools are located in residential areas, as well as several institutes and kindergarten. The main medical center is located between residential areas, which has a positive effects on the functional structure in the area. And all public buildings surrounding the residential area and include a huge number of entertainments, shopping, and service complexes. The green zone is a district of the district or recreation zone exists in a less organized manner. Residential area have stadiums. The improvement of the area includes landscaping of all types, but many recreation area, park, etc. Are located near the highway. The design area is located between the mountain, which compete for lack of parks and squares. In conclusion, I would like to say that the area has good functional connectivity, which ensure comfortable living for people. The main advantages are in the infrastructure, a large number of education institutes and human scale of development, where this is no impressive development. In disadvantages, not enough parking spaces, unorganized waste removal, the influence of poverty on the condition of the region, and also the chaotic construction of house without an integrated approach. With competent concept, this territory allows you at new functional to the territory and public spaces and interaction. The first impression of the territory is that it's fairly green place with good infrastructure, but many buildings are in poor condition. Our concept is to create modern, comfortable place for the residential of Tbilisi, improving the international space of courtyard areas and facades, organizing bicycle paths, and improving sports and recreation areas, as well as strengthening building structure while preserving the tradition of Georgia. Another feature of the renovation would be that in the north of Georgia are building additional floors, first and less attic floors. So we will take this point during the development of the project concept. The site is surrounded by bus stops. There is metro station, not enough traditional bus. And the territory is quite green, but it's necessary to properly organize green areas, most landscaping the chaotic arrangement. We want to organize landscaping in such a way that the project area has a well-grooming approach. The area adjacent to house where children's sports and playgrounds are located should be illuminated by sunlight. The required duration in solution should be at least 3 hours a day. Tbilisi is a sunny city. It's located in mountains. The highway above sea is 428, and the design site has an average elevation of 535 meters. After conduction analysis, we were able to determine that the majority of the territory is suitable for placing sports and children playgrounds and recreation areas. Our proposal for the development of the area, the creation of parking will help to more effectively use open space for the development of new function and reducing vehicle pollution and noise. Creation epicenter of activities such as children and sports grounds, public garden, and much more, and creating clear and safe connection between epicenter of activity will create a unique and interesting space. We also offer modernization of facades for a modern and interesting image for building. And the concept of territory development in this district format, our idea is to unite neighboring neighborhoods with a single lane. The alley will unite the main activity areas, sports and children playgrounds, a jogging and cycle. A cycling track will appear on the main alley, and the secondary alley will run along the boundaries of the district and will also be connected mountain clean in south and north. And such an initiative will create an attractive tourism route with walkway, bridges, and attraction. This path will cross the design area, connection existing lanes and activity areas, and as a result, an ordinary residential area will become a center for pedestrian walks, and large number of sports areas will have benefit effects on people's lifestyle. We have changed roads inside the block, removing most of driveways, leaving large pedestrian roads for the passage of fire truck. The main lane includes a jogging track and bicycle track. It can also be seen in diagram on right, exactly how it runs through the block and connects neighboring areas. And the main pedestrian lanes passes through the main activity areas, including the stadium, interactive playground, intra-block, square, and skate park. We have developed each zone of our site in more detail. We will also look at them in more detail further. It was decided to reduce the roadway part of the courtyard. Far lanes were replaced by wide sidewalk paths. The main pedestrian alleys not only connected secondary pedestrian paths, but also connected the project block with the whole area. Our proposal is to leave a small part of the roadway inside the block, not only for emergency, such as ambulances, fire truck, but also for people with disabilities. After all, if you completely deprive a block of roadways, this will create a problem with the availability of the services. Functional zoning of the master plan is our placement of pedestrian, recreational, commercial, and public sports and children's zones. Sports and children's playgrounds are located inside the block for safety. The remaining areas are landscaped and belong to the nearest buildings. This diagram shows activity areas and their locations, such as a park with gazebos and recreation areas, children's playgrounds, a skate park and sports ground with exercise equipment. The epicenter of activity are evenly located within the block to restore the social life of residents. And playgrounds are located closer to homes. It is also planned to place gazebos and benches near houses for the older generation away from noisy places. The recreation area provides space for socialization and relaxation. Every element of the playground is decided to provide safe, stimulating, and fun learning through play that support all aspects of the child's development. Analyzing the development on the block, we identify several problems: lack of parking spaces, illegal existence to residential buildings, lack of public spaces. Our proposal to solve their problems: perimeter placement of steel base, placement of parking spaces in steel base, placement of commercial and public space in steel base, expansion of housing on the upper floors of residential buildings. In the diagram, we see the connecting between the pedestrian road and the location of the sports zone and recreation zone. Their connection will ensure comfortable movement for residents on the block. The public space area includes child development center as well as entertainment spaces. Commercial buildings will include fitness centers, shopping, and food stores that will have an entrance from both the pedestrian area and the road. The viewpoints that we create help to more accurately imagine the renovation of our quarter and show our idea and proposal. The viewpoints convey our main task: they create a unique, comfortable, and useful space for society. This is a short video that will take you into the renovation of a residential area. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you. Barbara, I'm giving the floor to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I start with two small questions. The one would be, is there a specific project title? And the second question is, you were showing how you organize the mobility. Could you tell me how you organize the parking?
Parking we organize in Stillabates on the first, 1 second. In Stillabates on the first floor and second floor. Mobility, what about mobility? Can you repeat?
No, this is about the mobility. It's about the parking space, but could you show me where is the parking spaces?
1 second. Red points, it's in entrance parking parking spaces in Stillabates.
Could you show me just in the, that I see this?
Maybe I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Just
Nadia,
show
could you
your
explain
parking. Where are your
Parkovi?
parkings? Yeah. Your parking lots. The parking spaces that you consider, show them to Professor Engel.
Parking space in the number of numbers 8, number 8 in the Stillabates. Entrance in parking lots and the parking space in number 9. Parking building. Maybe I don't understand the questions. Sorry.
Barbara?
Yeah, I tried to figure out. I still, I don't see that. So if you would show me on the map, so I'm still wondering where you organize the parking. So, but then I just give this as a comment. Could someone allow me to share the screen because I can't comment it, and I would like to say.
Yes, you are allowed. I wrote you back. You're allowed. Everyone can share screen. Now you should stop.
No, it's so okay now.
Is it working? Yeah, okay.
Now, yeah.
Do you see?
Okay, so first, another question was whether you have a specific title, so a project title. So I think to have a specific title helps to explain what is your crucial approach to the design. So maybe you can think of that. First of all, in general, I liked how you approached the topic that you were showing, the Vajab Block 6 in the bigger Zabrotalo area. And what I as well very much like of your design or of your concept, this is different to other projects, that you really dealt with the existing buildings. So you transformed them. So you added here buildings. So I think this is very good because I think we have really to think about this urban layout, which has its deficits. So it's good to organize this. So this is, I think, very good. But I was wondering whether you could even how to do to develop this further, because for me was the question whether now we have this huge block or this huge like quarter, and the question is, what are maybe smaller units as a neighborhood? So for instance, is this a neighborhood or is this a neighborhood? So I don't know. So this remains to me open as a question. And the other thing about this, I think it's good to close here, because you have here the street and you have the noise and emissions. But I was wondering, what is the quality of having these green like areas, because they are kind of leftovers you create here. So I think this is not like how you closed it is not, I would say, the best way. And the other thing is we have, and this is as well, this is really, this is a common to all of the groups. this is the design territory, and we have very different edges, very different boundaries. This is another location or situation than here and here and here. So I think you have very to take care of responding to the different situation. Yeah. For instance, if you close here, this makes very much sense to me. Whether here there is the school, yeah, the question is, why is this not more maybe even open or linked to this? So this is one question. And the other question is, like I said, I think it's good to close here because there is the street and with noise. But the other thing is you have here this stadium, and I think you have as well to think how to organize this area, because it's, you know, it's, if they have like the games there, it's as well very noisy, yeah. And this is a more public area, and this is a more private area. So you need there as well another, I would say, special organization. And then I was asking about the parking. So I still did not get it really. So where you put the parking, I understood you have like the pedestrian passes and the bike passes. And of course, we would like to support the public transport, yeah, but still currently we have their cars. So the question would be where you put really the cars, the parking cars. And I think you have here here you have accessibility by cars in the yards is really a not good solution, yeah, because you minor the quality here for living. So this should be, so if you organize the mobility, it should be not go in the inner yards. The challenge there is really to improve the quality in the inner yards for the living environment. So it should be kept free from parking. And then maybe a last comment. I think you put you were thinking a lot of the green spaces, yeah. But still, so you have to be careful that the spaces become not too small, yeah. So that they would become useful for whether for leisure, for urban gardening. And you have carefully to think of what are private, what are maybe communal, or what are public spaces. So this is, and this goes very much together with the mobility concept. Yeah? So if you offer a green space, but at the same time you have there the street, yeah, and the parking, then it will minor the quality. So these are my comments. So on the one hand, really, I like that you addressed really, how to say, effectively, or how to say, for purpose, the former transformation. Yeah, so I think this is very much needed, but maybe a double check to the mobility and to the open spaces. And maybe one more comment. So sorry, a lot of comments, but like I said, you're the first team presenting, and many of the comments are just for the whole group. Yeah, I mean, we will have here like an interesting discussion. Of course, it's very challenging for you doing this design class and not having been to the site. Yeah. So in the last slides, yeah, you showed the details of how to transform the neighborhood, yeah. And maybe this is a bit because you haven't been there, because, you know, if I see these pictures, yeah, I don't see Warschau-Schorwella, yeah. And I know this is difficult because you haven't been there, yeah, because it looks very kind of neutral or kind of abstract. So maybe you can use even like pictures you used from the analysis so that you make more kind of a collage or so, that you bring in the end a bit of the atmosphere, yeah? Because I liked very much what you presented here. Well, you have, where is it? Yeah, here. So you had here, like, you developed typologies, yeah, typologies of different, yeah, situations. But maybe you can bring these in the end then together with the specific atmosphere and character of the neighborhood, yeah, because yeah, as I said, so now it's you don't feel yeah, really the character of the site, but I know that it's difficult since you haven't been there. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Olga, if you have any comments, please.
Да, мне поможет Петя. Петя, ты подключился?
Да, я подключился.
Отлично. Конечно же, прекрасные комментарии профессиональные Барбары. Я к ним полностью присоединяюсь и добавлю немного еще. Ребята сделали хороший анализ и правильно поставили задачи. Правильно поставили задачи архитектурные, градостроительные, которые надо решить.
So the team has done a really good analysis and found the goals and questions that they have to solve.
You don't have to translate for me, that's fine.
Окей. Тогда без перевода.
Что-что?
Без перевода.
Я понимаю.
Хорошо. Иман?
It's okay. I have
Oh, sorry. I missed. Yeah, sorry. Completely. You're right. So translation is needed for Iman. Sorry. I forgot.
Хорошо. Тогда перевод. Мы постараемся побыстрее, Петя, чуть быстрее. Но я хотела бы сделать, немножко акцентировать на двух вопросах. Я присоединяюсь к это вопрос первой Барбары, и я хочу еще раз акцентировать на этом. Это парковки. Вы заявили задачу, что парковки должны быть рассчитаны и предусмотрены, но задачу эту не решили.
So Olga Stepanovna agrees with Barbara that the team have found the problem that there is not enough parking space, but in the project the solution of this problem wasn't shown in full amount.
А это настолько актуальная задача, что не решив задачу парковочных мест, вы не сможете организовать все свои пространства для открытого пространства для жителей.
And it is really important as there are a lot of cars present in the city, and not solving this problem, you won't be able to solve any further problem.
Это и второе. Вы говорите, у вас заявлено, вернее, еще один важный аспект – это архитектура зданий.
Another important question that you're talking about is the architecture of the buildings.
Вы даете вариант трансформации архитектуры, но отдельное здание. Так нельзя. У вас территория, у вас ансамбль, градостроительный ансамбль. Его невозможно решать, решая архитектуру одного здания. Вы должны смотреть этот вопрос, рассматривать в комплексе именно этого ансамбля. Вы делаете 3D, но у вас лесоповал. Такой же лесоповал, который был первоначально задуманный. Это было единственное, самое главное, отрицательное в этих проектах того времени. И вы их повторяете. Нельзя решить архитектуру градостроительного ансамбля, решая архитектуру отдельных зданий. Надо этот вопрос решать комплексно.
So another important question is the architecture, and working with such complex ensemble, you can't just solve the question of architecture of particular buildings. You have to think in more general terms and give more general solution for all the area, and it is really important as the architectural solution of whole areas is one of the weakest points of those Soviet time projects.
Ну, мы учимся, это корректировка вопросы Барбары и мои добавления, дополнения, я думаю, помогут вам в вашем профессиональном творчестве. Спасибо.
But we are all learning, so the comments from Professor Sawicka and Professor Engel hopefully will help you to improve your professional qualities. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you very much. And now we're inviting the next team, Team 3, Nіколаєва Ольга and Гуцол Alexandra. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, dear teachers and colleagues. We present the Sustainable Agro-Block project. The design site is a residential block in the Saburtalo residential area at Tbilisi.
Петя? Алло, Петя?
The project area is equipment with quality infrastructure, is interesting for the investors, and has the potential of a comfortable area for families. Now the district has many problems that affects its perception, overrun by cars, the absence of children's area, and the excessive complexion of old buildings from the depressing image of the site project.
With the development, new buildings, green areas, and communication areas appeared, making the neighborhood even more attractive. The neighborhood is hilly with steep slopes and narrow streets, creating a scenic and unique landscape. Here you can find both steep ledges and cliffs and flat areas of land. This creates interesting contrasts and enriches the landscape of the area. The project is well divided by functions and has a large percentage of landscaping, which is represented by trees scattered around the site. The territory lacks high-quality green areas and recreation areas. The site is dominated by morphotypes of Soviet buildings.
According to the conclusions of the analysis, we have the problem of parking lot, of private space isolation. Next.
The main layer of new concept is a complexion of functional zoning and green spaces. The development of functional areas includes the elimination of faulty garages and the creation of quality new areas, including family recreation space.
Landscaping does not serve a useful function for residents, but it's simply planting trees. In the new concept, we will provide maximum functionality of landscaping and interest other residentials of Saburtalo. The general goal of the concept is to create a modern, sustainable district on the basis of the outdated post-Soviet bloc. Designer houses will fit harmoniously into the existing structure, and the realization of the cultivation potential of the residents will satisfy their needs and provide new jobs.
The potential developments of Saburtalo in thematic blocks with a central element of attraction is proposed. For example, in a student's block is focused around a co-working space, and the Adjacent co-living block will provide housing for students and form a central neighborhood community. Our block will become not only a central element in the Warszawska neighborhood, but also its living heart, providing residents with everything they need for a comfortable life. The concept of agroblock has the following advantages. The development of cultivation will ensure economic development. Renewable energy resources will ensure the operation of the farm and provide the district with independence. The introduction of bicycle paths will clean the territory of emissions and support the green concept of Warszawska 6.
The district is populated by various population groups. There are mostly families with children and students. The interests of the concept are formed based on the needs of each individual group. Next. The connection between recreation areas, sports fields, medical facilities, and educational institutes in neighborhood planning promotes healthy living and convenience for residents. Next.
By creating bike lanes along the main street on the side of the roads and separating them from the sidewalks and roadway, with lawn netting, we have significantly improved connectivity to the area. Landscaping of the territory involves three categories of areas: preserved existing lawn grid, protective landscaping separating the territory from noisy streets, and pollution-growing areas.
Playing with building highest not only ensures the architectural landscape, but also creates space of inspiring communicational and cozy relaxation. Next. The territory has been updated with new multifunctional buildings. All space meet barrier-free equipment, create new jobs, attract people, and are family-oriented. The largest central element of the site is the communication center, which also carries of useful recycling function. Next.
The master plan of the project changed the bottom of the site, where we created new public functions. We moved into green amphitheater to an area away from the noise roads and houses. In this way, we got a multifunctional friendly space that harmoniously unites residents into one community, where everyone has their own comfortable and interesting zone. Visualization of the project are united by the theme of smooth integration of new spaces. The main view shows the central parts of the neighborhood with energy-efficient elements and the air reservoir. A view of children's playgrounds, a main avenue, and meeting points is also presented. That's all. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much, Olga and Alexandra. Barbara, please start with your comments.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah, I start as well with some questions in order first to better understand your project. First, again, about the mobility. Did I understood that correct, that you foresee underground parking? This is the first question. The second would be, I understood that you removed the stadium, the existing. You have now there another like design. So where did you put the stadium? And the third question, could you explain me which buildings are existing, transformed, or which parts are new?
We have parking in the still-based part of published buildings. Number 6.
Could you just show this? But again, is it underground parking or?
No, still about part of building.
Could you? Yeah,
First
could you show
floor
me
and,
where on the map? You know, I can't see that otherwise.
number 7.
No, could
Number
you, I mean,
7.
could you show this in the map? You know?
Покажи на карті.
Саш, покажи аксонометр еще. Буде понятнее. Вперед, назад. Да. Business center on the next slide. Yes. Business center have parking by blue color.
And this is for the entire quarter?
Вот.
Ну, вам нужно много парковков. И это, ну, как это, где ставать вот автомобили?
We have 2 buildings, number 7 in the left and in the right part of master plan. Oh no.
Okay, so because this is so, on the one thing is, I read on one slide, you have to double check. There you say the solution is underground parking. That's what I was asking. So if you don't do underground parking, which is a good thing, because underground parking is not a solution, yeah, but then you have to remove the text, okay? But the other thing is, you put now the just on 2 spaces the parking for this whole territory. So this would not work probably. Yeah, so you have to, I would say, you need maybe on every edge of the whole district, you would need to place some district garages or so. I think it's a good way to put that into a building. I think it's a good solution, because if in future times maybe there's no car needed anymore, and then you could substitute and bring in new functions. But I think to concentrate this only to 2 buildings, this is, well, not working. But okay, this was the first question. And then please, the one question about where did you move the stadium, and what is the existing and what are the new buildings?
Я не знаю, как сказать. Помогите перевести.
The neighbor territory has the stadium too, so we think what our territory not need a stadium.
Okay.
And about buildings.
We transformed all the buildings into a height, different heights, 3, 5, and 7 floors.
But but they are still the existing, because for me it seems if you look at the master plan, that, I mean, now you have like the very strong stripes, and now, you know, it's back and forwards. So is this existing or not? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I understand. It's existing houses.
But you know,
there are 8 and
It is still as 8 existing houses, like constructor houses. Саш, покажи слайд с концептом, там, где у нас есть картинка этого дома, где-то в начале был. Вот. Like these houses.
Yeah, you know, so I'm not convinced, so because you have now, yeah, you have a specific, you have a building with a specific building width, and now you are probably adding like parts of the building. So you have really to show this carefully, yeah, because as you have seen, there are already extensions which are very complicated, and it doesn't work. And if you add something to the buildings, the quality inside, yeah, you don't have light anymore, yeah. And this like is just a picture, yeah, but you have really to prove that it works in the typology, yeah. And since you do this for the entire territory, yeah, it would be really important to address this issue, yeah. In general, I think it's very good as well to think about the transformation as well in different parts, like in the heights, yeah, but really to clarify this in the typology, because here the typological question or solution, yeah, is the prerequisite for your urban design. And maybe my last comment. So there were other comments I gave already to the first team, to the group 6. I think you can use as well. But one question, one remark would be, I very much liked your collage in the beginning. Yeah, you said, this is our understanding how the character is. Yeah, I like this, first impressions. And it would be great if you make a last collage where you show how it looks like, yeah, where you bring in the character, but as well with your new typologies and new understanding. So you say, well, this was the character, and this is our foreseen character. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. Olga, if you want, please.
Да, спасибо. Несколько слов добавлю к словам Барбары. Конечно же, номер 1 – это парковки.
So there are a few additions to Professor Engelwart's. First of all, it's of course the problem of parking.
И это надо было решать, то есть концепция решения парковочных мест у вас не получилась.
So the team hasn't succeeded in creating the whole conception of solving this parking issue.
Я считаю, очень большой плюс то, что вы территорию, очень большую территорию внутри этого района, которая занята коммерческим спортивным полем, очень правильно, что вы отдаете ее жителям. Но вы должны были, опять-таки, как сказала Барбара, должны четко дать решение, каким образом грамотно, юридически правильно собственность этого стадиона переходит, который в долгосрочной аренде, переходит к жителям этого района, этого микрорайона, и каким образом это компенсируется тем, кто сейчас владеет им.
So Professor Sawicka says that she's totally agree with the idea of creating public space instead of a stadium in the center of the block, but the team had to put more attention into some legislative questions of how the right of ownership will be transferred to the residents of the block, and also how this will be compensated to those people who has rented this stadium area.
Конечно, спасибо, Петя. Конечно же, вопрос об эстетике домов, об эстетике зданий жилых, это тоже вопрос из первостепенных. Но ваше решение непрофессионально. Вы даете просто какую-то фантазию. А надо было совершенно конкретно дать на примере. У вас и в плане получилась фантазия, каким образом так будет трансформироваться это здание, непонятно. Вы дали картинку, фантазию, тоже непонятную, просто красивое нагромождение объемов. А вы, архитекторы, польза, прочность, красота, слоган всех времен и народов. Вы должны четко, профессионально дать решение, хотя бы концептуальное и схематичное. У вас его тоже нет.
So also the question of aesthetics of the existing buildings is one of the keys, but the team has given us nice pictures of how a good buildings can look like, but they didn't give us the solution how will they transform existing buildings into suggested, at least in general conceptual details that are bounded to the construction and planning solution of existing buildings of the area.
Но проект получился, концепция сформировалась и имеет право на жизнь со своими доработками. Поздравляю вас. Спасибо.
In general, the project and its conception are really successful. The team have made a lot of good work, but still this project should be improved to make it more realistic, more something that is more understood for us.
Thank you very much, Olga.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team 3, Olga and Alexandra. And now we're inviting team 2, Savchenko Natalia, Fedorenko Katerina, and Gerasimchuk Nastya.
Just one small sentence. I want from all of you to stay calm because we had a semester together. I know that you can answer all the questions and you can talk about your ideas and design. So stay cool, stay calm. And it's like a normal session, but with Professor Engel and Professor Olga. And then you can answer all the questions.
Yes, thank you, Ivan.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, dear mentors and colleagues. We would like to present to you our project, which is named Saboteur Start Hub. Next slide. One of the city's largest residential and university districts, Saboteur was created as a result of centralized planning. According to the scheme, this neighborhood is dominated by high-rise residential development or private houses. Next slide, please. The block environment has been planned according to a single design, resulting in a lack of facade diversity typical of historic neighborhoods. The problem of indiscriminate parking can only be solved by organized special parking zones. Next slide. Summarizing the findings of the area analysis, it was determined that the site lacks functional diversity. A modern neighborhood should include a service area, a public area, and a recreational area. The city is not designed for cycling, therefore cycling is included in our concept. The site consists mainly of pedestrian roads, parks, and neighborhoods with enclosed areas. Additionally, there is an indoor sports field on the site, making it crucial to provide outdoor open recreational areas. Next slide. The main residential development of Saboteur 1960-1980 named Khrushchevka buildings of 5 floors and Khrushchevka buildings of 9 floors. In general, Khrushchevka buildings have a linear morph types. Next slide, please. The main types of transformation in the area are buses and subways. The transportation network has a single track configuration with the main transportation road on Bishop Road. There are 4 bus stops and nearest metro station around the neighborhood.
We have reviewed and summarized the geographical highlights of our concept. The focus is on a young audience, mainly students, with a brief mention of young families. This is due to the density of university schools and university departments. There is only one co-working space and one shopping center in the neighborhood, which is 300 meters away. The project area will benefit from a number of improvements, including enhancements to pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure. The resolution of the issue of indiscriminate parking through the construction of a covered multifunctional building with parking, the rehabilitation of building facades and courtyards, improvements to create architectural attractiveness, and the resolution of the problems of sorting and disposal of rubbish waste. Conclusions have been drawn regarding improvements to be made in the project area based on historical, landscape, and geographical analysis. These include improving pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, addressing congested car parking, rehabilitating buildings' facades, landscaping courtyards, and creating multifunctional areas. The neighborhood includes all the areas that are lacking in the surrounding area and areas for students. There are commercial areas and residential area, multifunctional recreational area, sport area, multifunctional co-working area, where entertainment and educational facilities are included, multifunctional parking area, etc. As our target users are students, the majority of the zones have been allocated for study and leisure purposes. Through historical analysis, we included multifunctional co-working spaces, study zones, cafes, public recreational areas, and sport areas for lack of these zones. It's proposed that an integrated recreational area and outdoor sports zones and a cafe be constructed in place of an indoor stadium in the center of the micro district. In the southern area, a multi-purpose car park is proposed with 450 parking spaces, with the ground floor allocated for shopping and entertainment purposes, and levels 2-7 for parking. The pedestrian thoroughfare has been designed from Warszawska 6 block to University Street, traversing the entire neighborhood. This unifies the northern and southern parts of Warszawska 6. A network of bicycle lanes will be established around the entire perimeter of the neighborhood. 60 temporary parking spaces pockets have been also designed.
In terms of landscaping, the design is tailored to the climate of Tbilisi and Georgia as a whole. The majority of these gardens are dominated by a variety of plants, including lilacs, mangolds, camlux, peaches, and apple and Japanese cherry trees. The study neighborhood is characterized by medium-height building comprising 5 to 6 stories and 9 stories. Projected new constructions do not exceed the given story height. Convenient places for separate waste collection have been thought out. Distances from residential buildings to garbage bins, 9 to 20 meters, were maintained. For the study zone, kinetic paving was used to reduce energy. It represents an innovative ecosystem that generates electricity from humans' footsteps. The axonometric scheme offers a comprehensive overview of the project sites with the surrounding development. The project employs the ribbon unification technique. The color yellow was selected as it is a symbol of sun, life, and wisdom in many countries. The color also aligns perfectly with the ambience of the city and the concept. We have identified the main public areas. The central park of the recreational area will consist of several wooden frame structures in the form of boxes, which will fulfill various functions. These include table tennis, hammocks, exercise spot, picnic tables. Round-shaped pergolas for sitting in the recreational area have been added. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Barbara, please start with your comments.
Yeah, thank you very much for your explanations and presentation. I have again the question, where's organized the parking and how?
Yes, this building is a 7-story building, which has, it's a multifunctional parking. It has 450 car parking spaces. And also we have little pockets around the area, specifically here in the south of the district.
Yeah, I think really you should reconsider this. Yeah, so on the one hand, the location is far too far, you know, from the whole district. Yeah, and then I really wonder, you know, whether it's appropriate today only like build huge parking houses. Yeah. but maybe these are places where it's car parking, but maybe even other usages, to have like a more kind of an urban character. So I would recommend really to think of very carefully to place parking in a building that is good, but distributed on the edges on the territory. Because, well, then now you explained, well, there is maybe parking outside. This is exactly what is now happening. So people just driving through and parking wherever they find a spot. And if you have now the chance to organize this, and I think this is, I mean, Olga pointed this out as well. We both in the last project. Of course, parking is not the complete urban design, and we should not only focus on the parking, but it's really a prerequisite. So it's still a sensitive issue. So this is just one recommendation. And maybe you can close your presentation, then I could share my screen. And I have one remark to the group before. Sorry, I forgot. I would like to address the group before. What I liked in the project was, I mean, I appreciate that you're all looking at the whole Sabotalo area, which is really important to address what role does the block 6 play in the surrounding. And I like with the group before, so you identified, well, there are several blocks, block 1 to 6, and you gave specific characters. You say, well, there is the stud block, there is the co-living block, and there is the agro block. So this was for me a good conceptual approach. I wanted not to forget to say this. And now we go back to your project. So I think your goals, if I understood you right, you are addressing on a specific, on the group of young people, students, because of the neighborhood with the university and young families. I think this is a good approach, But then if you go here into the functional zoning, I would really doubt whether this is like at the huge center with the sport area, and then you have like areas that are looking, or even in the size, completely the same, but they are like different. Green area and then a sport area. And how is this linked to that? Because this is as well a sport area. So for me, it's the functional zoning not convincing, and I would recommend that you really think again of smaller maybe units. I mean, now we have really we have the zoning like this huge block, and then where's currently now the stadium. But if you speak about your new residents that you're thinking of, so maybe you need there like smaller units that create a good neighborhood. And the same is, I asked this in the group before, Olga did as well. I think we are all not satisfied with the stadium that is there. But you have really, I appreciate if you have new solutions, but this is a private territory. This is a private territory, and if you move it, this is fine, but you just have to say, well, this is now, the other group said it's in the neighboring area where there is the place for the stadium, but since it's a private sport club, who needs that, so you just have to say, well, we economize space, even they would maybe not agree because of the ownership, but you have really to say this actively, that you propose a solution, because otherwise no one would follow your design. And here in the master plan, this was as well a bit in the zoning plan. What I think is important, green area is or you show here green area and it's all the same green area. This is not appropriate for a master plan. Yeah. So on the one thing, you have to make a differentiation between what is public and what is private. Yeah. And then if you have green, so this is like the ownership. Yeah. This is the two categories. And then the other categories are about the functions and the quality. There are gardens, yeah, maybe private gardens, there's maybe urban gardening, there is park, there is playground. Yeah, so it needs really a differentiation of the green spaces, especially because they are so important for the living environment and for the living quality. And then the last comment, and then yeah, Olga can follow and add comments. I think you could or should be more active about the urban design. I mean, it's an existing fabric, yes, but you know, as I mentioned before, I think we have here a problem because it's very noisy, and I think we have here another situation than here. So the question is how to address in terms of the space, yeah, that there is an entrance to the neighborhood, or here I should not go because it's more private. So I think you should more actively design the urban fabric, so transform and add maybe the buildings as well. Again, here is the problem. Yeah, if you have this as a very public area, yeah, then you have somehow to organize this area differently. Yeah, whether with buildings or even with trees. But now all this is like merging. So, and this is problematic for the urban design concept, I would say. I have a last question, or maybe a general remark. It's not only for your project. The extensions, there are a lot of extensions in the buildings or on the buildings. What is happening to them? Will they just stay, or what is your concept for this?
We have a scheme. We didn't show it here. We could show the screen now and explain our solution. If you can give us, yeah, thank you. Just a minute. So I'm sorry that we didn't show it because we thought it's not that important, but we have the existing extensions. So we just improve them. We don't demolish them. We just make them more organized. We add some dynamics to this existing extensions and probably adding maybe 1 or 2 floors. And this is our solution for the architecture design. So we don't remove any extensions, we just design them in another way.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hope my explanation will now be like understandable, because I can't show this. But you know, how you do this here is very problematic. So because you have, I explained this, I think, to a group before, yeah? You have the width of the building, and now you are adding like a part of a building. This is almost 1/3, or this is more than 1/3 of the building. So this is, you are extremely making the quality of the existing apartments very like, you make it worse, yeah, because it will behind this, there will be no light at all, yeah. And it's now only working because you have this like separate extension, or yeah, different extensions, yeah. And so there's still light coming like in the other apartments, yeah, but still the existing extensions are as well, only is not a good solution. So so this is a comment really going to all of the groups, yeah. The question is, yeah, the extensions show that there is a demand for additional housing, and the question is how to how to add typologies, yeah, and if so on the building, then you have to be very careful, and maybe you find spots in the territory. This could be as well a solution. And I
Yes.
would be as well, I think we have other projects too, if you build even on top, yeah, I would really double check this, yeah, because it has already like I would say a high density, yeah, and even put one more on top of it, yeah. So I would then carefully think of maybe really on the edges of the quarter, yeah, where the buildings are facing the street, whether you can there add buildings. But yeah, this is a general remark, but was good that you showed this once more for explanation.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a question. So it is better to demolish all the extensions entirely?
No, but you know, I said so you can even, but I think it has to be like, it could be that you, for instance, develop a plan of rules, yeah, how to organize this, yeah. Now it's the thing that there are no rules existing, and some are happy with it and some are not, yeah. So, and it's not an easy task. I'm not saying this, yeah, and but this is just a question how to so, and I think there are different answers, yeah, removing them, yeah, or if you keep them, or even if you add others, you have to think how it could work, that the building is like still standing, and that the neighborhood has a benefit and not the opposite.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. Olga, please start with your comments. Maybe you want something to add?
Да, thank you. Несколько слов добавляю. Я, как всегда, присоединяюсь к Барбаре и добавляю несколько своих комментариев. Положительный момент то, что задумались об использовании инновационных инструментов в градостроительстве. Взяли для отделочные для территории инновационные материалы. Это плюс. Петя? Peter,
are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
So one of the positive points is that the team suggests some innovative approaches and materials in their project.
Еще один положительный момент, что ребята подумали о вертикальном озеленении. Перешли на крыши, ну, хотя бы концептуально дали там вертикально на крыше зеленые пространства общественные. При дефиците территории внизу это была бы очень интересная концепция. Но надо было немножко конкретнее, конечно, дать хотя бы концептуально, схематично возможности решения этого.
So another strong point is that the team suggests vertical greenery, for example, green roofs. It can be really beneficial in situation where there is a lack of space underground.
Но минус, еще одно замечание такое же, как у Барбары. Вопрос номер 1, парковочные места. Вы решили эту задачу просто отделаться. Этот вопрос решать надо. Вот поставили одно здание и думайте дальше, как оно будет работать. Так нельзя. Надо было четко дать схему использования этой парковки, многоэтажной парковки, как она будет работать. И, конечно же, невозможно на таком расстоянии. Надо было рассчитать все доступные расстояния, понять, какие максимально, минимально возможные доступности этой парковки. Это минус. То, что она многоэтажная, это плюс. Но надо было правильно это решить. Может быть, не один этот паркинг сделать многоэтажный, а несколько. Ну и, конечно же, внутри эти паркинги должны совмещаться с парковочными местами внутри самого района. Но это вы решили.
So maybe the strongest disadvantage of the project is that the team has very formally solved the parking questions, just putting one big building on the outskirts of the district. Maybe they should have thought more careful about this question, put some other parking locations and combine them with some public spaces and calculate the approximate distance from comfortable distance to residents to reach the parking places.
И вопрос такой же, как и для предыдущих групп, для концепции предыдущих групп, это эстетика зданий. Вы эту задачу ставите, но решаете индивидуально, там, положительно, получилось, не получилось, но вы решаете индивидуально с отдельным зданием. Опять-таки, нельзя. Вы должны решать эстетику всего ансамбля. Как это здание работает, как эстетика этого здания работает в общем комплексно в застройке всего квартала.
And also important issue is the aesthetics of the whole block. The team, as previous teams, have shown us the solutions of for particular buildings, but in urban design project, it is important to solve the aesthetics questions for whole area, not for just particular separate buildings.
Но в целом проект получился. Спасибо, поздравляю вас.
But in general, the team have made a really good project, and we congratulate you with its finish.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 2. And now we're inviting the next team, Team 5, Прахов Stanislav, Чуйко Ksenia, and Moiseyeva Ksenia. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues and teachers. We would like to present to you our renovation project that's named Taste of Georgia for the area covering Microdistrict 6 in Tbilisi, Georgia. Let's start with the urban analysis. The project area belongs to the suburban residential area in the western part of Tbilisi and is located on Vazheb-Shavela Avenue. It occupies 11.62 hectares and began its history in 1955, the time of construction of Hrushevka's building, which, as you can see, represent the residential development of the territory.
This slide provides schemes with an analysis of the territory. They show that the main buildings in the project area are residential buildings. There is no multifunctionality. From the diagram of open and closed zone, we can also conclude that the territory of the microdistrict itself is limited for general public access, and the central zone is closed. Public transport is developed in the area. There is a metro. There is also a large amount of landscaping on the territory, but from the photographs we can conclude that it needs improvement. Next slide. Next slide, please. On this slide, we present summarizing diagrams of the collected data regarding the microdistrict. From them, we can conclude that the population of the area is increasing as housing prices there. Actually, the microdistrict needs
more living space. We also highlighted the main problems of the micro district, such as the closed central zone, lack of multifunctionality, lack of parking space, and so on. Next slide.
After the analysis stage, we proceed to the conceptual solution. The main components of our conceptual master plan are a pedestrian diagonal alley with a bicycle path and a developed multifunctional center. We offer stelobits for greater multifunctionality and the places for cars. Our special feature is also our head pedestrian bridge connected to the stelobit for safe passage to the school and a green area eliminated traffic jams. We designed retail facilities in abundant green areas. On the border of the micro-district away from the residential area, we designed an above-ground parking lot. The dominant features in the central zone developing our concept are an open area cinema, a cafe with a barbecue area, dry fountains, gazebos in the center, and a diagonal pedestrian alley. Much attention we paid to the fountains in the center. Since the climate in Tbilisi is hot, we paid great attention to the fountains on the center of attraction of people. Below, we have allocated a special fenced area for training dogs, and even lower there is sports area with a mini football field, a tennis court, and an area with exercise equipment.
On this slide, we present the traffic schemes of the new general plan. We paid special attention to bicycle paths. The total length in the micro-district is about 6 kilometers. We have made all zones accessible for pedestrian traffic, thereby making the micro-district accessible to people, and we also provide access for the cars to all houses. In the landscaping scheme, we provide for the improvement of existing green areas and the creation of new ones, such as vineyards on the border of the micro-district. We have increased the multifunctionality of the micro-district by highlighting new zones. It's an entertainment area, stelobit stores, sports area, public area, children's playgrounds, parking, and vineyards. Next slide, please. On this slide, we present a general 3D view on the area and individual 3D views.
And on the last slide, as a conclusion, we attached a diagram with indicators before and after renovation and 3D views of the renovated micro-district, a comparative table that clearly demonstrated the results of our renovation. Firstly, we increased the area of green areas. Secondly, we removed the closed field in the center and created an open multifunctional area. Third, we solved the problem of lack of space for commercial activities. Next, the parking problem was solved by organization of several parking lots and above ground parking, which made it possible to free up space for green spaces. We created bicycle paths. And the last, it's one of our main achievements. We increasing the number of stories to 7 and allowed to create 600 apartments, which will have a positive impact on the investment background and will increase the attractiveness of the project from a financial point of view. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Barbara, please start with your comments.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. You have a very poetic title, Taste of Georgia. Could you explain how is that related to your conceptual approach or to your project?
Who's answering? in your group?
I answering, sorry. Some problem with internet. Excuse me, can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, you have a very poetic title, Taste of Georgia. So I'm very curious. So I was wondering, how is that related? Where do I see this project title in your conceptual approach, in your concept, or in your planning aims, or in the design?
Okay, our concept, we understand what the Georgians, for Georgians, the traditionals, cultural traditions, it's very important. But the story, history, saying in the Soviet period, with these traditions not to be as good, and the urban planning, the building, not do the places, to the methods to do these traditions, and they thinking what today with 6 microdistrict, it's one of the thousands district like this from the all post-Soviet countries. But if we only renovate it, it will be a one microdistrict from the thousands from all the world. And we think what we need to do district from Georgians and with their cultural traditions, and they have the place from the dancing because they love like dancing. We have any vineyards because the grapes, it's a very important symbol and cultural and religiously symbol, and many legends Georgians have about the grapes. Georgians like cinema, see national cinema, and the project and open cinema. We're thinking what we need assimilation, the modern style of life with the historical traditional and culture.
Yeah, so this is a very good approach, but you have really to elaborate this and to explain this. Yeah, and one thing is for me missing, because you say, well, we create a neighborhood, yeah, where is the taste of Georgia, and you say correctly. So there are traditions, but there's as well a modern way of life, yeah. But then you have clearly to explain what you understand as like taste of Georgia, yeah. So you mentioned the vineyards, yeah. You mentioned like the public life with the dancing and the cinema, yeah. But I would say there's something missing about how to live, about the housing typologies, and even as well about the mobility behavior, yeah. What is the thing? And then it's a really strong concept, yeah, because in general I like it, but you have really to make a story out of it. And then the standard question, how to organize parking?
Okay, Ksenia, master plan, please. Okay, we have 2 public parking. It's number 6, it's down. It's a big parking by the 1,200 cars. And we have, it's up on the Vashepshevela Avenue, big steel bait. Ksyusha, yes, this is big steel bait. The front of the Vashepshevela, it's a place from small shops and commercial zones, but the more than 19% of this steel bait, it's a parking. Not underground, it's a 1 floor, big parking from people. And we have 2 public parking. It's from the guest of the district. It's, Ксюша, там где номер 1. Справа. This parking up the number 1, and, Ксюша, между 2 домами, где вот аллейка начинается, вот здесь ниже, да. And this small parking from the guests of the district.
Yeah, maybe you can close your presentation and I can share my screen. So
Okay.
I think I hope I have the correct one. Again, we discussed this before, yeah. I think it's very inconvenient if you have here a huge parking house, yeah. And as well, so in terms, this would be like, how to say, this is a big entrance. This is the like for the whole district. So in terms of, if you speak about Taste of Georgia, like a huge housing, a big parking house, I would not recommend to do that, but really to think of place where you have here the automobile directions, yeah, where you have different maybe entrances. You can as well have here one, yeah, maybe on other locations. I would split that, yeah. And we speak here about really the parking for the residents, yeah, not for the stores, for visitors, yeah. But and then the people would use the parking house, because this is the other thing, yeah. You can build their house if you. It's my guess. If you build here the this parking house, people would still park here. They do now. Why should they not do this anymore? Yeah. So, but if you organize this differently on different locations where the people could then still access very good their houses, yeah, and you could, as I discussed or said before to other groups, you can integrate other functions. Yeah, you have bicycle paths. You estimate that the people would ride bikes. I mean, still, this is not the case right now, but you would encourage this. This is good, yeah. But then you need as well, in directly neighborhood, I would say places where you can store safely your bike, yeah. So you can merge this, yeah, to say, well, I put the car there, I put the bike there, or the e-scooter, and I could go for like grocery, yeah. So, and then if the mobility demand will maybe, or the mobility behavior, yeah, will change, then you can easily remove the functions within the building. So you are more flexible. And last part for the mobility, you have, I mean, I understood that you would emphasize really the pedestrian mobility and the bike mobility, yeah. But why do you have only like this strict bike lane, yeah? So, you know, we are, if we ride a bike, we are very, how to say, skeptical about detours, yeah? We always go straight, and I mean, for bike is nice, so why, so here at least is a lane missing, yeah, though that you have, I mean, it's not so crucial, and you can say maybe this is the main direction, but you know, if I look at the left hand picture, yeah, this is the automobile. There are more ways as for the bikes. It should be the other way around, yeah, to make less car access and more bikes. But yeah, this is about the last issue. I think it's about the greens. I mean, I appreciate the vineyards, yeah, to have as the taste or as a special offer maybe, yeah. But here again, we discussed this with the other groups, and it's really a comment going to all the groups. If we speak about housing, then it's very much about defining public and private spaces, yeah. And you have here the vineyards, okay, then I know what is it, but all the others is landscape. And landscape doesn't say anything to me. It's all, yeah. So, and I mean, with the vineyards, you're very specific. So you should be to other green areas specific too. So for instance, a garden or like a micro agricultural area or whatever, yeah. So I know, is that an open, is it a vivid or a calm space? So be very specific. In the open spaces is for housing environment, very important. And I think then you can really push your interesting ideas very much forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Your very important comments. Yeah, thank you. Team 5, Ольга, do you want
Ну,
to...
я свои несколько добавлений к комментариям Барбары. У вас, вы так жестко вырезали свою территорию, причем вырезали ее по половине, по границе пограничных улиц, которые обрамляют вашу территорию проектируемую. И получилось так, что половина улицы, которая входит, принадлежит вашей территории, это таки да, это ваша территория, а половина улицы, которая вне этой территории, вне вашей границы, она вас даже не интересует. Это, конечно, градостроительное нарушение. Улица, как я вам уже давно говорила, улица всегда это градостроительный элемент, который имеет два фасада, как правило, там в отдельных случаях один. В данном случае два фасада. Нельзя вырывать район из контекста территории. И, конечно же, само собой, вы вырезали и связи, оборвали связи, которые вы должны были показать соседними прилегающими территориями.
So the first remark is about that you have really strictly cut off your territory by the middles of the streets, and it's a mistake because every street usually has two facades, and you cannot just cut off the half of it. And also it also cuts off the connections to the surroundings from your master plan, so we just cannot understand how will your microdistrict be connected to other microdistricts.
Ну и задача, вернее вопрос еще, который перед всеми стоит, который как-то он тяжело решается у нас, это эстетика градостроительного ансамбля этой территории. Конечно, об этом тоже надо было задуматься.
And another question that is also really difficult to solve is the aesthetics of whole urban planning area, and you should pay more attention to this question.
Ну и все плюсы Барбара уже перечислила, не буду повторяться, отнимать время. Ну, в общем-то, проект состоялся, концепцию вы выполнили.
So the advantages were already told by Professor Engel, and in general the project is a success, so we can congratulate you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 5. And now we're inviting the next team. Team 1, Духіна Виктория, Перепелиця Евгения.
Good afternoon, dear mentors and colleagues. Today we would like to present to you a sketch design proposal called Modernistic Poetry, directly referring to the poet after whom the neighborhood is named. Situation plan of the project area. The project area is located in the city of Tbilisi, Sabutala district. Basic plan and photo fixation of the project site. The site is bounded by Vazhepshavela Street to the north, University Street to the west, Mikhail Shevishvili Street to the east, and Petra Kaftaradzha Street to the south. SWOT analysis of the projected site has been performed. The historical development of the area was analyzed at both city and district scales. The district under consideration is located away from the historical zone and belongs to the group of territories developed in the last century. The functional zoning of the neighborhood shows us that it includes all the necessary amenities. Schools, clinics, community centers, and recreational spaces are nearby.
More types of existing buildings and urban planning silhouette were analyzed. The periods of development are reflected in the silhouette of the districts. The micro-districts under consideration has Love Story Height, the new neighborhood to the west, stand in contrast. The microdistrict is located in a convenient transportation and pedestrian accessibility. In walking distance are bus stop and the metro station called State University. The microdistrict is located on the periphery of the city. The district is green. Large deciduous trees predominate among the greenery. There is a lack of landscaping up to 3 meters above the ground.
Having analyzed the problems and resources of the territory, we can come to the following conclusions. The stadium occupies a very large area that should be given to the residents. Inner roads also take up an excessive amount of territory. There are no necessary features on the territory for good quality of life for Georgians. The neighborhood's integration with its surroundings through mobility systems involves the development of bicycle lanes, strategically positioned based on terrain analysis. Additionally, plans include facilitating free movement for cyclists on inner roads. Furthermore, new pedestrian routes are proposed to link points of attraction within the microdistrict with neighboring areas. With the location of the Children and Youth Development Center, we support the existing structure of educational institutions and turning the center of our neighborhood into a point of attraction for young writers.
In our project proposal, we have to take into account the peculiarities of the demographic structures of the population and propose public space tailored to the different age groups, the needs, wants, activities, and emotional of each of the age categories were analyzed for further work. According to the analysis of the needs of the target audience and the following public space are proposed.
In our master plan, we propose the following amenities: children's and sports grounds, family interaction fields, a tennis court, gazebos with barbecues, chess zones, pet walking areas, and quiet rest zones. We are also considering putting an amphitheater to support Georgian culture with literary evenings and live music. Zoning, paving, and landscaping in line with the neighborhood's overall diagonal compositional structure. At the center of the microdistrict, we propose a Children and Youth Development Center with an integrated amphitheater, addressing the lack of kindergartens in Sabutalo. This also honors the memory of Georgian poet Vazha Pshavela. Additionally, spaces for family gatherings and celebrations are planned at the opposite end of the former stadium area. As for landscaping, it is important to subordinate the new road system and landscaping to the existing trees on the site. The functions of public spaces were determined after analyzing the interests of age groups of the target users. To address the shortage of pedestrian space and the chaotic heritage development, we propose demolishing the heritages and constructing a Volkswagen Tower in the southwest. This plan also addresses the issue of driveways occupying 22% of the site by making the entire microdistrict pedestrian-friendly, with wide alleys for special transport and occasional resident access. Most of the development remained 5 stories with added teak floors. To the west of the site, the number of stories increases. The high-rise dominant feature is the multifunctional Volkswagen Tower. Lighting scheme is also provided.
The facades of Sandro Eoli and Vazha Pshavela streets were completed as well as profiles of the main line and internal pedestrian alley. Axonometric diagrams illustration K public space, including playground, sport facilities, a chess zone, an amphitheater, and pergola-covered gazebos with barbecues. Sun protection will be provided by tree crowns and pergolas.
To address chaotic extensions, we propose increasing the building's width to expand apartment floor areas. Roofs will feature attics and winter gardens for residents to enjoy agriculture. Facade finishing will include perforated panels for sun protection suitable for Tbilisi's hot climate. And atmospheres of the central parts of the microdistrict. and atmospheres of the main points of attraction: playground, volleyball field, children development center, and sports facilities. A video presentation of the project has also been prepared. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Team 1. Barbara, floor to you.
Yeah, thank you very much to the team for the presentation. I have start with two small questions. The one is as well about again really a poetic title, modernistic poetry. Maybe you can say something. How is this expressed in your concept? And the second question for understanding for me, is that correct that you put on every building like 2 more stories, which is including the winter garden and I don't know, another story for housing, or how is that organized?
Thank you for your questions. Firstly, the name of the project is directly related to the history of Tbilisi and the poets after whom the neighborhood is named, Vazhapshavela. And by locating the Center for Children and Youth Development Center, we support the idea of cultural development of the population and honor the memory of the great poet. And as for the building structure, we are increasing the number of floors only on the west of the site. The other buildings are only with attics with winter garden.
Okay, because it looks here that it looks all similar, but maybe is, I don't know. So please to make sure that it yeah, it looks that every building is built up by this 2 like stories of the purple ones. But maybe if that's not the case, then it's because in this, at least in this schemes, it looks like because again, like
yeah. Sorry.
pardon?
Two stories. Some of them has 2 stories in pink. The other one doesn't have those 2 stories in pink. It's so little, but it's recognizable.
Okay. Yeah. So because for me it's really it's about this would be even the next comment. Yeah, you have really to be careful about the density. And as well, I would very much doubt, I mean, to build this tower. So I don't think this is the right solution. It's really out of scale, I would say. Yeah, and it's I can understand that you react to specific locations. This I think is good. Yeah, to even to demonstrate that here's an entrance, yeah, or something, or a small dominant. But in that way, it's I think this is not a correct solution. Maybe you can close your presentation, then I can more easily show something what I would like to discuss. Yeah, I think it's always good to have a title. I was not so convinced about your explanation, or I would like to encourage you then even to address this further. Yeah, so the link to Vazhapshavela, or I mean, you have this I understood that you have this amphitheater where you would like to encourage cultural meetings, or maybe you can even address then, I don't know, cultural life, or so then even more in your concept. You did analysis, but so I think you have here, so several times you put the stadium here as public greenery. So the stadium is not public and it's not green. Yeah, so be very specific with that. And I mean, we know, and it's really an issue, yeah, the stadium, how to deal with the stadium, yeah, is really an issue, yeah, because we know, I mean, now it's fenced, yeah, and I think this is not only a comment again to you, but to the whole group. I mean, I understand that you all move it somewhere, yeah, if it's possible, but I mean, it would be as well, I think, a solution, a possible solution to let it be where it is, but to transform it in the accessibility, yeah, because now it's really a private area and there's only is the sport club using it, yeah, but you can say, well, why could we not open it, yeah, so. And on the one, I think on the one side of the stadium, there are now only private garages, yeah, and maybe you can think of framing the stadium with other more public facilities, yeah. So I understand, I think you are all in the whole design studio team, you are all right that with the conclusion, this is not good as it is right now, yeah. But I think moving the complete function somewhere, yeah, is only one and probably a very difficult solution. And there are others solution too. But again, this is not just a comment to you, but to all other teams. I like this scheme here. Yeah, this was something that we were addressing in our comments as well. It is important to think of how the neighborhood is linked to the other neighborhoods. Yeah. So, and here you see like the good connection with the bike lanes. But I was wondering, why didn't you think of, well, the east-west connection? Yeah, especially I think the linkage to that area would be important and a good chance to better integrate it in the neighborhood. Yeah. Because we have here facilities, the infrastructure with the school and kindergarten, which would be suitable to support the neighborhood as well. So this was, or this would be not only for you to comment, but as well for others. Really think of how to better integrate as well if you think of usages. Yeah, I mean, for instance, if you propose there an amphitheater, yeah, or another like cultural venue, yeah, then you would probably address this not only to block 6, but to the other blocks too, yeah. So maybe you can think of where is one main, I don't know, pedestrian axis here going or there going to invite as well people, yeah. Or you say, well, maybe there is another facility which you foresee not here, but here. So this interaction is here in the conceptual scheme a good place, but I think you can use this for your further design. Yeah, and the other thing well, about the master plan. Yeah, as I mentioned, so I think this is here, it's too big in the scale, but in general, yeah, really to think how to really deal with the fabric on different locations. Yeah, and I think you have to think about where are entrances, where are more closed areas. And for you, the last question, as for everyone, where's the parking? I mean, I saw a bit parking, but I don't know whether I understood that correctly. I saw here parking, but I don't know whether I understood this correctly. Maybe you can show me once more on the map.
Okay. As for the parking, you mean parking spaces? Yeah.
As for the parking, to solve the problem of parking spaces, it was decided to place a multi-story parking lot in the southwest called Volkswagen Parking. This solution saves the area of the project site and includes 400 parking spaces. And the parking lot also has a styler board with a commercial function.
Yeah, so again, we discussed this with other groups, yeah. So you think to have to find other solution which is more located in the neighborhood, and that would better, yeah, be integrated and would be more flexible. And I mean, and this is another thing, yeah. I mean, we are speaking about the parking for the residents, yeah, and now the neighborhood is so important for Tbilisi, yeah, because it's still affordable housing, yeah. But to build a new building in that manner, yeah, is really, it's incredible expensive as well, yeah. So should be more small scale solutions. But we discussed this already with the other groups. I have one formal remark. If you can go to the next slide, or then even the next one. Oh no, it's the previous one, sorry. Got the wrong direction. No. No, 17.
17.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. This, no. One before? Yes, this one. So this was as well, I mentioned, or I realized this in other projects too. It's just a formal thing, yeah. You have here buildings wide and open space, the streets are wide. Yeah, it's just really, it's misleading. It makes it difficult for understanding. So just like put whether the buildings or the streets in other color, just like a formal remark. Yeah, thank you very much for the presentations and explanations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Team One. Thank you very much, Barbara. Olga, start with your comments, please.
Thank you. Мне нравится этот проект. Проект получился красивым и профессиональным. Ребята взяли как и предпроектные исследования, и затем свою концепцию излагали из учета не отдельной территории изучаемого микрорайона, а исследовали территорию района. Мне нравится, что они рассмотрели эстетику этого пространства, архитектурного пространства этого района. Выстроили фасады улиц и выстроили силуэт, где можно оценить, каким образом эстетически вписывается силуэт этого района в силуэт прилегающей застройки. Это очень большие плюсы. Но хотелось бы, вот Барбара уже об этом говорила, что связи с прилегающими территориями выстроены, не учитывая все прилегающие территории, то есть это выстроено частично. Хотелось бы, чтобы это было в более широком, все прилегающие территории были полностью задействованы, учтены, как это реально происходит в жизни. Большой плюс, что ребята сделали демографический анализ и проанализировали, то есть все возрастные категории, живущие население этого района, но вы дали по демографии, а не дали демографическое концептуальное решение, что для каждой из этих групп, каким образом реализуется их обслуживание, их жизнь в вашем концептуальном решении. И, конечно же, парковки. С одной стороны, вы почувствовали, и это вертикаль, градостроительная вертикаль, градостроительный вертикальный акцент. Он очень хорошо здесь работает, но с точки зрения использования, функционального использования этой парковки. Это минус. Вы должны четко были дать всю схему. Это вопрос самый главный. Вы должны четко были дать всю решение и дать ваше функциональное, господи, прошу прощения, концептуальное ваше решение и дать полностью схемы парковок для обслуживания автомобилей вашей территории. Я прошу прощения, Пете я не дала слова. Петя,
я
много наговорила.
So I will briefly translate for Iman. First of all, Professor Savicka said that in general, project is looks good. It's really good that the team has made a comprehensive approach in analysis, analyzing not just the Black Seas, but whole Sabartala districts. It's good that the team haven't done a connection between the parts of the district analysis, but they should have improved it with analyzing all the connections. And also it's a really important question of organizing parking spaces. It maybe needs more details in approach of solving it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Team 1. And now we are inviting Team 4. And this is the final presentations today. So Team 4, Кричун Людмила, Заниздра Ирина, and Кельник Аркадий.
Good afternoon, Green Ground Project. Let's begin next. Let's by considering the site in general. The Vasha design area is located northwest of the city center and is part of the Sobotalo district. Students and middle-class citizens live in large apartment buildings and suburban family homes. Next. As for development, Vasha is a panel settlement that faces several problems and challenges. Many public and green spaces are neglected. The character and special organization of the district has been changed due to chaotic expansion, garages, and warehouse in the inner yard. Next. The expansion map of Tbilisi district shows that the Sobotalo district has been actively growing over the years. The average cost of residential construction among districts of Tbilisi was analyzed. The property structure shows that there was an active illegal expansion of the area by the residents of this building near and to the house built in 1960-1970. Next.
Sobotalo district has been actively growing over the years. The property structure shows that there was an active illegal expansion of the area by the residents of these buildings near and to the houses built in 1960-1970. Next. The population began to fall from 2000. The expansion of the district. The area of construction and living space is constantly increasing. In the territory of Vazhepshevela 6, the population consists mainly of middle-aged and elderly people. Accessibility is mostly provided by footpaths and private cars. Next.
Types of buildings, Soviet buildings. Many residential complexes in Sobotalo were built in Soviet time between the 1950s and 1980s. These buildings often have a layout typical of the Soviet period, large monolithic blocks of panel or brick materials with standard apartment and minimalist facades. Next. Topographic maps and satellite image can be used to analyze the relief. Next.
The design site is surrounded mainly by high-rise residential buildings and public areas, which include kindergartens, schools,
higher education institutions, hospitals, commercial premises, administrative building. Next.
District is dominated by residential building of various eras, ranging from ancient building to modern residential complex. Among them, you can find high-rise building, 60, 70 years old, 5-8 stories high. Houses with courtyard and 1-2 stories, and other types of housing which are located on the design site itself. Next.
The landscaping of the quarter has a significant percentage of nature and land use landscaping. The main landscaping of the quarter consists of bushes, berry trees, plants, own gardens, and deciduous trees. Next.
Based on the analysis, we propose the following solution for improving the quarter: demolition of garages, close permanent roads between houses, putting sidewalk in order, general expansion of the facades along the extreme extension, green buffer zone between the house and the sidewalk, extension of the upper floors, bicycle parking, and a leisure place for the elderly, above ground parking lots. Next.
The strength we hold for most powerful are the intensive greenery, the comfortable density of the built housing, and the obvious visibility of the needs of the local population. We see a big potential for future development. Firstly, there is plenty of space which can be used for new functions. This gives us the possibility of to cater to the needs of the population. We also see a potential of a new eco-infrastructure, walking, jogging, and biking. And we want to create a headpiece in the middle of the district to connect the whole area, which new looks very divided, not as a wall. Next. Our concept is called Green Growth Project, transforming the district for tomorrow. Next.
According to the analysis, the quarter has a young population and a lively infrastructure, but the buildings are the surrounding area in a dilapidated state. The first solution is to expand the living space by adding lodges and balconies, and add greenery to the balconies, reconstructed facades in one style. The next solution is to improve the sport core of the quarter, to add sport equipment to the stadium, for children create a playground, there is no private, and distribute them around the block. So we have created a beautiful entrance area to the main one with flower beds, create a recreation and communication area for residents behind each apartment building. Next.
The development system connects the districts of Veža-Pševela and makes them easily accessible. Each quarter of Serbutala has potential communication and is subject to future reconstruction of the same type. We highlight the main axis of pedestrian and bicycle traffic between neighborhoods and the city. Between each block, there is a public area at the intersection of which we offer a main meeting place of various types. Next. The design site is surrounded by mainly high-rise residential building and public areas, which include kindergarten, schools, higher educational institutions, hospital, commercial premises, administrative building, developed infrastructure. All zones interact with each other. The main zones are public areas, landscaping, and residential buildings. Next.
The quarter is developed in such a way as to combine residential area with public spaces, take into account the need for mobility, and create a vibrant urban environment. On the general plan, the buildings are all existing but improved. Each building has an entrance and guest parking. Since the idea of ecology is the paving for the entrance and parking lots are made with interesting interspersed greenery, children playground and recreation areas made of natural materials. Next.
We offer a development transfer structure. The main roads are separated by green zones. Interblock travel is also provided for some buildings, and a common entrance is created. There is guest parking to near each house, two parking lots serving the neighborhood. We offer to provide diverse and safe transport accessibility. We also envisage the main cycle path that will connect the entire Sarbutalo district. Pedestrian activity is carried out throughout the block and connect the boundaries of other blocks. Next.
Landscaping plays a key role in creating a healthy and pleasing living environment. Here are some ideas and approaches to greening the neighborhood. Within the block, there are large areas of parks and squares where residents can relax, play sport, or simply enjoy nature. A variety of vegetation create a beautiful and cozy corner. From innovation solution, we suggest making a combined paving so that everything is not of the same type. Dilute the paving with landscaping and make a gradation of the lawn and paving. Paving is more dense near the house, and landscaping is gradually added away from the houses. In the same way, we offer to create temporary parking lots under the houses. Next. Public spaces are designed for comfortable living in the quarter. In order not to overbuild, we use the first floor of existing building. For this, we choose 4 houses, the facade of which are oriented towards the street, where there is a lively movement of both people and cars under the window of the first floor. We offer placement of supermarket and various grocery stores them. Further in the center of the block near the stadium, new building are located along the pedestrian alley, where there will be retail outlet, cafes, co-working space, or various interest groups. Also, an amphitheater for general gathering of residents of performance is planned on the territory of the quarter. The first 3 buildings are united by a raised steel base with rooms intended for public service. Next.
One of the centers of gravity was to arrange the ordering of kiosks around the stadium so that the trading area would face the road and pedestrian alley. These kiosks can be used by residents to sell their products, open cafes, and various retail outlets. Playgrounds are located to ensure accessibility. We take into account the possibility of changing the functional purpose of the object without significant cost, so that the quarter adapts to the changing needs of society and the economy. We offer the main textures of the quarter: paving slabs, green paving, landscaping, laundry, and granite. Next. For the quality of living in the quarter, we offer the following modernization of buildings: demolish all additions of the facades, to expand the area to new attached loggias and balconies, to save energy, to place solar panels on the roof. We also offer to add an attic floor and reconstruct the roof, add greenery to the balconies. Next.
Main viewpoint of our quarter. Public square are designed using primarily natural material. Recreational zone serves attractions for residents and their guests. Recreation areas on both sides, future ponds and interesting landscaping. Bench area provided for neighborly communications. Central block features. The loft is designated as a picnic area. A sports square is located in the central with a reconstruction stadium. An additional sport grounds is available for children and adults for various generations. These areas provided opportunity for leisure, play, enjoy natural and residence communications. Next.
our exposition, one list and other. Thank you for attention. That's all.
Thank you very much, team, for your presentation. Barbara, floor to you.
Thank you very much to the last team of today's presentations. I have a question about the transformation of the buildings. Maybe you can go to some of the last slides. I think this was the activation of preserved building morphotypes. So could you explain what is done? So are you tearing down like the top floors? You were explaining, or here as well, you say you are adding balconies and loggias. But if I look to the down left sketch, the modernized building, I mean, this is not only the adding of balconies, but this looks like a complete new building. Could you explain this to me, please?
We explain lodges, add lodges to existing building and add mansard floor.
Yeah, I understand this, but you know, if you look at the building, at the sketch, left down, modernized building, yeah? So to put the mansard on top, then you would have first to tear down the upper floors that exist. So this is my first question. And as well, this sketch of the modernized buildings, that is not a building where are only balconies or loggias added, but it looks completely like a new building. So this is my question. I don't get the left scheme with the right scheme together. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you can close the screen sharing, then I share and I explain you once more.
Верни презентацию, пожалуйста.
So here you are explaining that you have a building and you add loggias or balconies. But here, this has 3 floors. This has 5 floors. So my question is, if you first remove 2 floors, first question, and then this here, this building, this is not added balconies. This here, if you, I mean, this is the transformation of this building, but this is not only, you see here, this is a completely new building. So, you know, if you want to do this, this looks different. So you have to show that it's different. And the question is still, will you remove the topper floors first and then build the mansard? Is that what are you proposing?
Yes, we remove one floor and add the mansard floor.
Yeah, so you know, this is in terms of, well, this is very complicated, very costly. First to remove and then to add one more. And again, with the with this here, it's there's not, it has to look different. But the other question as well is to me, because you were asked, or you were saying, well, there's a shortage of housing and you solve this with making balconies and loggias. You know, balconies and loggias, this is not the problem they have, but really the problem of housing space. And that's because the people, they add no loggias, but they add real apartments. And so the question is, really, if you put it like here in front of it to the whole building we discussed it with other groups, you have really a problem here because this is then all dark, yeah? Or it's only balconies, but then you have still the problem of the housing shortage because you remove the extension. So I think there's a bit of misleading or still a deficit in the concept. But first of all, I really like your concept approach, the title, Green Growth. Yeah? So I think this is, you have it somewhere, I think, before here, Green Growth Project, Transforming District for Tomorrow. Yeah? And I think it's a good approach to say that, okay, the future sustainable development, there's the basic that we think about the green transformation. But I think you forgot a bit about the green growth in your project. Because, for instance, you have here, yeah, again, I like it that you look at the linkages with the neighboring area, but why didn't you look about the green connections? You know, from your neighborhood to the existing green areas in Tbilisi. Yeah, this would support, this would emphasize your project. And so this is for me a bit in general, I think that you should emphasize more really the green growth in your neighborhood. And I think this is very much then about looking, I don't know whether it's here, yeah, what is really private and what is public, what is accessible and not. And in order to give your green growth a very good quality, again, I think you need to think that is here another special solution than here. And then probably as well the last remark is, you are the team that led the stadium where it is. Yeah, I think it's good. And I like your ideas that you have here with the framing to give here public functions. But I think this could be even more strong to really think about a good frame here, a good frame that is a linkage, but as well, how to say, a linkage and which organizes here the private area of the housing and the public area of the stadium. Yeah, I think it needs more even, it could be a bit stronger than you have it here. You have it conceptual here with new usages, but could be more strong. And very last remark, in your visualizations, yeah, I see here a lot of sealed areas. Yeah. So the question is, what for do you need that lot of huge sealed areas? Yeah. So you should make as much as green, especially you are the green growth group, and make the sealed areas as small as they can be for like cycling or like for what you need for cars. But if you look at it, yeah, so it looks still very like concrete and not so much green. So just I would like to encourage you to really elaborate your really interesting and good approach of the green growth and to tell Tbilisi that this is the way they should support the development of Vasha Pravela, Block 6. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Верните презентацию. Ольга, please start with your comments.
Полностью согласна с Барбарой, присоединяюсь. Здесь даже да. Ну, такое же замечание, как и ко всем остальным. Вы рассматриваете, это один из первых вопросов, эстетика этой застройки. Но вы опять-таки рассматриваете отдельное здание. Вы не рассматриваете, как это здание будет, или вы фрагмент рассматриваете, вот на картинке у вас фрагмент этой территории, но вы не рассматриваете, не решаете ансамбль, эстетику ансамбля, архитектурного ансамбля, градостроительного ансамбля всей территории этого микрорайона. И, конечно же, плюс в том, что вы даете при исследовании, затем при концепции, даете территорию не отдельно вырезанного, хотя у вас и такие схемы есть, а всего района в целом. Здесь легче наладить и показать, определить и показать связи, да, именно здесь, и связи между прилегающими территориями. Это ваш плюс. И, конечно же, ну, я что-то или я пропустила, или мало слышала о парковках. Как вы решаете автомобили?
У нас
Peter, are you here? Please translate, Olga.
Yes, I will translate, summarizing. So, firstly, first remark is that as many previous teams, this team have made a solution of aesthetics of particular buildings, but in such project, the comprehensive solution for the whole area is really needed. From strongest points is that team have done schemes for whole Saburtalo district that really helps us to understand their ideas. It also really helped them to understand their needs and maybe some details for their projects. And also it seems that the team hasn't paid much attention to the solution of problem of car parking.
Please answer English, Team 4. In English.
There is a guest parking lot near each house and 2 parking lots serving the neighborhoods.
Петя, переведешь?
On the transfer scheme. We see.
Да,
Number 10, this is parking.
В общем, здание номер 10 — это 2 здания парковки, и также будет небольшая гостевая парковка рядом со зданием, рядом с жилыми домами.
Хорошо, спасибо. Спасибо. Ну, в целом концепция получилась. Я вас поздравляю. Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
We can congratulate you with successful finishing of your project.
Thank you very much, Olga. Thank you very much, Team 4. So, dear Barbara, dear Olga, thank you very much for joining our meeting today. And thank you for the valuable feedback you have provided to our students. And now, Barbara, I would like to ask you for a concluding word, please.
Well, for concluding words, so first of all, like I said in the beginning, thanks to all of you for your efforts. I know it's really a challenging topic, but yeah, I really appreciate it that you dealt with this issue. Like I said, because it's not only for Tbilisi really a concrete, a real challenge, but it's about an exemplary task. Yeah, and that's why it's so important. Yeah, and then you see there are always there are like general questions, which of course you have to find specific solutions about the mobility issues. Yeah, so parking, we know we have this trend in, or we want to achieve the turnaround in the mobility system. So this is then really the question how to address this. So I thank you for this valuable discussion today. One thing maybe for the next urban project, so one is just a formal remark. If you draw the master plans, yeah, so please make visible which is the existing buildings, which is the new building, and which is the transformed building, yeah. Maybe just with a slight separation. So maybe the one is lighter gray, a darker gray, whatever, yeah. But if you are not like, if you don't go in the details of the analysis, then it's difficult to see, well, what are the changes that you made. And yeah, please take always your concept very serious. So if you developed a topic, a title, then I mean you have an agenda and you should follow the agenda through all the scales. So this is, I would say as well, important. And always think of course, we gave you the specific outline of the territory, and I was really appreciated that you were always looking at the bigger context of Sabotallo, but I had the feeling in addressing new functions, and as well then the organization of the mobility system, you did not so much look anymore to the neighboring areas, and this could benefit for you. Like I said, it could be an exchange, that you use a facility from the neighboring area, or that what you propose as new function in your neighborhood is maybe not only good for the residents there, but for the bigger picture. So how, really to define the area you are looking on should always be wider than just the area we gave you for the design. But as I said, I very much appreciated the discussion today in the presentation. So this is, I mean, what we usually really expect from such an urban design class, that you contribute to a discussion. The projects are not final, or they are not done by yet, of course not, and this is not a problem. So I hope that the comments that Olga and me gave to you are like good for your further professional work. And I would give a special thank you to all the entire guiding team with Olga, Nadia, and Peter and Iman. I don't know whether I forgot someone, so because I know this is hard work, and it's as well I know it's difficult having not been to Tbilisi and doing all the consultations online, especially for the design classes. I know how hard this is, but I hope that you get something out and makes you even was a contribution for your further professional development. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much.
Success.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Olga, floor to you.
Я, конечно же, ребята, вы проделали очень большую работу, и мы все учимся, вы учитесь, это ваше будущее, вы учитесь у своих преподавателей, но преподаватели мы все учимся у вас. Архитектор – это такая профессия, когда профессионально человек учится всю свою жизнь. Петя? Петя?
Да,
переведи, пожалуйста.
We thank you for your projects. You've done a great job, and you always learn something from your work on the project, and we as teachers also learn from our students during the work with the students.
Ребята, вы сейчас в очень сложное время, учитесь. И те, кто сейчас в Одессе, и те, кто сейчас переживают очень сложную обстановку, и те, кто уехали и находятся, в общем-то, в безопасности, но они находятся не дома. Это тоже такая стрессовая ситуация. Так что вы все герои, вы все молодцы. Но на вас еще возложены обязанности. Вы должны показать уровень и своей школы, и уровень, как вы можете учиться, и как вы можете воплотить в свои учебные работы, и в свое творчество, свои знания. И вам отстраивать нашу страну. За вами будущее нашей страны. Петя? Это, наверное, переводи.
So you live in really difficult times. It's difficult both for the students who live in Odessa with our current circumstances of war, and both for those who are abroad because they are not at home and maybe you are homesick, it is also difficult, but you have to study, you have to improve your skills, because you are the ones who will form the future of our country. You will rebuild it after war, and you will form the how our country will look for decades ahead.
Я очень благодарна нашим преподавателям, одесситам, и Наде, и Амилу, и Пете. И спасибо вам большое за ваш труд и ваше участие в этом проекте. Ну, да, Петя, говори.
And Professor Sawicka, grateful to the team of the teachers of the project.
И большая благодарность преподавателям Karlsruhe, Иману, Насте. Спасибо за такую большую поддержку, за такое особенное отношение и к совместному к совместной нашей работе и отношение к нашим студентам.
And we're grateful to the team in Odessa and to the team in Karlsruhe for support of students and sharing the experience.
И отдельное спасибо, отдельная благодарность, отдельно, даже не знаю, как это выразить словами. Барбара, тебе. Спасибо за такую сильную, мощную поддержку, за просто теплоту, доброту. Спасибо, что ты с нами.
And special thanks to Professor Engel for her support and for her kindness, for her sharing of experience.
И большое просто спасибо стране Германии, которая поддерживает, видите, у меня даже немножко пафосно-эмоционально, прошу за эту пафосность, но в такое время.
And
спасибо вашей стране.
Germany, the country that really supports us in many, many ways.
Thank you.
Olga, so much honor. I have really to say something, because you're really what I really want to say. So I mean, first, I give all the thankfulness I give back to you, Will, because we are facing now like a long-term collaboration for years, which is very like strong, wow. Yeah, which is among the colleagues. But of course, it's supported by all the efforts which was done by the students. And it was good that you pointed out once more. I mean, we make this course, and this course is organized because of the war and the difficult times, and we would like just to have this different. And we are every day like praying that the war will end. But really, what the thing is really great. So you can really be proud of what you have done despite all these circumstances. And I mean, of course, yeah, we hope that the war will end. But other crises will always happen, yeah. And you can really be proud of it, that despite you are in the difficult circumstances, that you did the presentation, and that you did not only the presentation, but that you finished a serious project, yeah. And I hope this gives you, you know, I can't really imagine how difficult the situation is for you now, but I hope this as well gives you further energy, because I saw a lot of energy in the projects, in the result of the projects. But I hope then that our like discussion and collaboration gives you even more energy for the future, for the professional, but as well for the private life. And yeah, I hope for you all the best, and stay safe and healthy. And we, of course, we are in touch, Olga, Nadia, and the whole team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just I add one, two sentence. I add one, two sentence. I support Barbara. I don't have as much experience as Professor Engel, Professor Sawicka, and Nadia, but this is 9th year that I'm working as teaching assistant and teaching classes like this. And the last 2 years, not just about the learning. I learned a lot from Nadia. Every session, she says anything, I can learn anything, new things. Every pin-ups we have with Professor Engel, Professor Sawicka, I cannot believe it. I write back and forth on papers, and it's new. All of them are new. But spiritually, spiritually, I can say, yes, I will never forget this experience, never forget this experience. And as I told you during the semester, I use your class as an example for the other classes that I have, that I tell them, okay, they are doing this in this situation. And Professor Engel, I want to tell you, the project they did had 60 more slides. Each group had crazy analysis they did. They had lots of other things, but because of our time, we reduced the work and we just showed the highlights. So the final work of them are 70, 80, 90 good maps, good analysis, everything. And they listen. These Ukrainian students, they listen. I love it about them. They listen, we debate, but they listen and had progress. Every session they had progress. I'm thankful for that from everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Iman.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
So, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. See
Thank
you
you.
next semester. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.